to escamillafables. So today we're going to be going over a birthing kit for cats. If you're watching this video, it presumes that your cat is either pregnant already or you are planning on breeding your cat and are just doing some research into what you're going to need for birthing and birth and labor. Oh my gosh, I have such a tongue twister today. I do apologize. Anyway, so we're going to go over some of the essentials that you're going to need and what I personally have in my birthing kit at all times. So of course the first item, no, I'm doing a video right now, buddy, is going to be, of course, a birthing box of some kind. I have already done a video on what to do for make a nesting box or a birthing box for your cat. There's several different variations. This is my favorite. But of course you need somewhere safe to deliver your kittens. If you don't like the nesting box idea, there's several different things out there that you can try. This is just my personal favorite. Just as a disclaimer though, before I continue, cats are natural laborers, which means that 9 times out of 10, they don't need assistance of any kind or any interference. Their bodies are built for this. Labor comes naturally to them. Most cats know what to do without any aid from humans or otherwise. So just keep in mind that a lot of this you may not need, but it's always best to have it and have it to be safe rather than to be sorry. Excuse my son, I guess he's going to decide to play while I go into this, and that's okay. So the first item on the list, this is the only item I ever expect to use with my cats, but it's going to be just some rags, some towels. The reason that you would need these is in case mama cat, especially if it's her first litter, may get overwhelmed by the whole process and won't clean the kittens all the way, or she has kittens too fast and may need some assistance getting them cleaned off and dry. This is the only thing I really expect to use because my queens, personally, all that they've ever had issues with is just birthing the kittens too fast because they're really good when it comes to labor. They just tend to have them come so fast they get a little overwhelmed and can't clean them fast enough before the next day. Keep in mind that's not a common occurrence, but it can happen. So that's the only reason I expect to use this. Oh, don't do that, you're going to break it. Over there. The next item is going to be extra bedding. The reason you need extra bedding is because once labor is said and done, there's going to be a lot of juices and bodily fluids everywhere that will need to be cleaned up, and mama cat will be grateful that you changed the bedding after the fact. Next on the list is kitten formula, kitten milk replacement. Now this brand that I'm showing you right now is not my preferred brand. My preferred brand is the blue can, that is KMR brand. It also has a brown tabby kitten right where that is. And like I said, it's blue, it says KMR. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, or Corona, whichever you prefer to call it, unfortunately they're out of stock for me, and I'm having to gamble on shipping on whether or not it'll be here on time for my own cat's labor and delivery. So hopefully it'll come here on time. They just want to be all up in help mama. Anyway, hopefully that'll get here on time for her. But the only real reason that you ever need milk replacement is in case mama cat has not enough milk that she produces naturally on her own. She doesn't produce any milk, or she abandons the kittens, and therefore you need to bottle feed. Typically, mama cats are really good about having enough milk, so it's not something I really worry about. I just monitor them, and if I see that they need some supplementation or if mom is struggling, I can do that. My cats have never really had this issue. The only time I've had these issues is when others have brought their kittens to me over the years, and they've needed bottle feeding because they were abandoned, but that's the only time. Next is, of course, a bottle for the formula. Again, this is not my preferred brand. I like to have between 4 and 5 of these bottles around, just so that I can have formula and bottles readily available should I have to take over bottle feeding. Again, the same reason I have this is the same reason I have the formula. Corona and COVID-19, unfortunately, has ruined a lot of things for things being in stock. So I'm actually wanting to get another kit that has some smaller nipples in case there's the risk of premature kittens, or we have an underdeveloped kitten or just a runt and they can't fit their mouths around a nipple of this size. So I will be getting that, but for now, this is what I have to show you guys. I'll probably show the other one in a later video when I come across it, if they have it in stock. But yeah. Anyway, the next thing on the list is going to be some disposable gloves and petroleum jelly. Now keep in mind, this is a worst case scenario item. You do not need these items unless something really bad happens that is needs interference. And my recommendation is don't interfere unless you have the experience to match, because you can really hurt mama if you don't know what you're doing. Fortunately for me, I've done this for years. I've had to interfere several times. I know how to do it. I've had vets show me how to do it, so it's not a huge issue for me. But essentially, the disposable gloves are just for in case you need to check positioning or see if a kitten's stuck and if they need C-section. And the petroleum jelly acts as a lubricant. Not only for the gloves, but a thermometer, which unfortunately, also because of Corona and COVID-19, I can't get my hands on. And I'm in the same situation with the milk replacement. It'll be a gamble on if it's here or not. But that one is not as big of a deal because thermometer or no thermometer, your cat is going to have different symptoms of whether or not they're going into labor. Typically, a cat's temperature will drop to about 99, 98 degrees Fahrenheit before birth. And then that's about 24 to 48 hours from them going into labor. So, although it's nice to have, it's not... I'm sorry, my kids are distracting me. It's not always a necessity to have, it's just nice to have around. Next we have some Q-tips, and then of course betadine. I would prefer iodine if I had it, but unfortunately, same dilemma. Corona, COVID-19, out of stock, gambling if it's going to get here or not via shipping. But anyway, betadine works just as well as iodine, and basically all you'll do, all that this is used for, is you'll spray some on a Q-tip, and once that umbilical cord is severed from mom, and it's about the proper length of between a ½ inch to an inch from the kitten's belly, you're going to spray some of this on the Q-tip and just wipe it on there to make sure that no bacteria or infection can develop around the umbilical cord and where it connects to the kitten. So that's, again, it's not like 100% needed, but it's definitely peace of mind for me because then I know my kittens are safe from infection. Speaking of umbilical cords, next items on our list is going to be some dental floss and either nail scissors or cuticle cutters. Now, the reason I have these items, you're probably wondering, why does she have such cheap items? Why doesn't she have surgical scissors? The reason being is because I've never found there to be a need for surgical scissors. And surgical scissors, actually, because they're so big, cause more problems than not. Though you're welcome to use them if that's what floats your boat. The reason I like these is because the smaller ones provide more space and more room to get to the kitten's umbilical cords without really disrupting mama. And I like to have the option of nail scissors and cuticle cutters because I found over the years that some umbilical cords are thicker than others. This can be due to many reasons. I don't know the specifics at the top of my head, but when they're thicker, I like to use the cuticle cutters because they're a bit stronger, easier to cut through the umbilical cord. When they're thinner, I just like to use the nail scissors. But before you do that, you have to tie off the umbilical cords with dental floss to prevent excessive bleeding, unneeded bleeding, and to make sure that it's the proper length. You don't want to cut it too short, you don't want to cut it too long either. The last item that I don't have here with me that I wish I had, I really do, but I unfortunately have run out of it, and so again, it's a gamble once again with stupid shipping with the Corona and COVID-19. Pardon me. I do apologize. Anyway, is a supplement called Oral Cal. It'll be like in a tube like this, and it'll have a twisting injection. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to call it. But it'll let you measure how many cc's you want to give. to your animal. And it's a really good thing for animals in labor, dogs and cats especially. The one I prefer is Oral Cal. And it's just an oral calcium supplement that goes into the system really fast. Calcium helps dogs and cats progress through labor easier and faster because it helps with the contractions in their uterine horns so that they can keep up with things, and also helps with some of their energy stores. When that's depleted, you'll find your animals are really exhausted during labor and after labor. And it can pose some issues if they have some calcium deficiency, and it can cause some behavioral problems as well. So it's like my top item on the list, and I'm really upset that I don't have it here to show you. But if you don't have Oral Cal, there are some substitutes. You can crush up some eggshells and put them in an egg and just let your cat eat it that way. Or you can give them cottage cheese or vanilla ice cream. The cottage cheese and vanilla ice cream, although they do have some calcium content in them, they're not the best. They're minimum at best, but if it's all you got and she desperately needs calcium. But again, the Oral Cal is what I absolutely adore having for my cats, because I'll give them 1 cc after every kitten. And I'll give them 1 right before they deliver the first kitten, just to give them a little boost to make sure there's enough calcium. If I notice that she's running out of energy really fast, or she's really struggling, I'll give her 2 to 3 cc's, just depending on what I see the need of for that cat. But again, consult with a veterinarian before you decide that is not a toy to administer extra, just to make sure that you're not overdosing your animal. But typically the bottle will tell you dosage as well. I just prefer to have veterinarian input. Last but not least, I know this is a beat up version of a notebook, but a notebook of some kind to keep record of your kittens. If you like to have whelping colors, you can do that too, especially if you're expecting a litter that's going to look similar and you like to know which ones are birthed first, second, last, etc., and you want to color code them, that's fine. Or if you're a breeder and you want to assign them colors, that's fine. You can use whelping colors. I just use this for record keeping purposes, just so I know time labor started, when each kitten came, and weights. I don't have it with me, but there's a little kitchen scale that I have that I love to use just to keep their weights. It's not a necessity. You can easily tell if a kitten's gaining weight just by looking at them if you have enough experience. But if you don't, the kitchen scale is good. 5 to 10 grams of weight gain a day is ideal. But yeah, just for record keeping, tracking weights, etc. And that's really all there is to it. I do apologize about all the interruptions with my kids right now. They decided they wanted to wake up for their nap while we were recording, and they did not want to go back to sleep, so we just said, whatever, they're going to be joining us. Anyway, so, yeah, if you have any additional questions, or if I missed anything that you feel is pertinent and needs to be mentioned, go ahead and put it in the comments. But for now, this is all you really need, and for those of you expecting kittens, good luck. I can't wait to hear about your adventures if you ever let me know about them, and enjoy those kittens. See ya!